This is the Elite Plate Final. Wigan Warriors with the first attack, attacking the line to your left-hand side. Cambridge Hornets are their opposition in those sky blue and white hooped vests. The winner of this will be taking home the plate, joining Hot Custard Sloppy Seconds as championship winners. This is a great start for Wigan. The pass caught but not grounded, so 30 seconds gone. The first main attack leads to nothing but a real signal of intent for Wigan, who'll be disappointed with their defeat earlier at the hands of Hot Custard. They were 6-3 down at half-time. That became 12-6. They were their own worst enemies in terms of discipline. They won the penalty there, but the ball forward. So Cambridge will get their first touch of this Elite Plate Final. Getting through the hands, this good driving from Cambridge. Up over halfway already, that's 2 touches. Sensible player with a hoodie on under his vest there, because goodness me, it's gone cold. You can see those flags in the distance in the yellow bin just blowing in the wind going in the favour of Cambridge in this first half, threatening the Wigan line, but that's 6 touches. So a turnover, but a good opening phase for Cambridge. Getting rid of the ball in a good position. 2 touches there for Wigan. 2 becomes 3, not quite in the Cambridge half, but after all those substitutions, Cambridge controversially making those on defence. This, the last touch from Cambridge, it's been claimed. But despite making the substitutions, that's a good defensive set from Cambridge. 2 minutes gone, still 0-0. God, not only the hood on, but the hood up from Cambridge's number 2. That's Catherine Jones protecting herself against the elements. Glenn Jones, though, still naked arms, the proper hard man of touch in that Cambridge Hornets vest. Ball goes to ground. It's a quickie taken and it's carried forward by Samara Slater. Touch coming in there from Wigan Warriors. Bit of pace injected from Cambridge for the corner, having to put the brakes on. Ollie Maynard inside to Brad Murphy, a little bit too loose from Murphy. And that attack comes to nothing. Better drive from Warriors this time, up over halfway. Here come Warriors then, attacking with some intent for the gap. He needs a pass from half, he gets it, and Warriors take the lead in the final. Excellent running from half by Jordan Melling, supported by Gabe Pennington. Have a look at this from Melling, sees the gap. Pennington gets on his bike, knows there's going to be a gap, knows he needs to find it, and does exactly that. Just shy of 4 minutes, Wigan 1, Cambridge 0. Well, how will Cambridge respond? 4 minutes gone. And now they need to find a score to get back into this one. Oh, and a quick check with the assistant. That is the equalising try. What a finish there from Sam Missin. Let's take another look at this. Spots the gap in between the link and the winger. Sells them a dummy and goes around the outside. 2 fantastic tries and not even 5 minutes gone here. It's Wigan 1, Cambridge 1. Leah Cuthbertson's joined me for this one. You've arrived just in time. You've missed a couple of scores, but this one's shaping up to be an absolute jaffer.
Yeah, I just thought I better come and watch this game. A lot of my old England teammates plus a lot of my under 18s are on this, so it's quite exciting for me to watch this.
And you brought some refreshments with you as well.
Yeah, last game of the day done, so had to bring myself a beer.
Well deserved. It's been a tough weekend, but we're delighted you could join us for this Elite Plate final. You can see a couple of droplets of rain falling onto the camera lens there. Not the easiest of conditions. It is cold.
Yeah, really cold out there. You can see some of the girls wrapped up, ready for the conditions, but once it gets a little bit of rain, the ball does get quite greasy, so they'll be hoping that the rain actually stays off.
Well, there's a much better attack from Cambridge, forcing Wigan backwards.
Yeah, they've got the two. Wigan have the two junior players in the mid and the there, so they're. Oh,
it's a loose pass.
Yeah, so that's unlucky from Cambridge there. Thought they were about to set something up.
With that breeze and the cold, it's not the easiest passing conditions.
No, it's really easy for the ball to go to ground, and you'll see a lot of loose passes, especially when it's come to the line, and a few balls that look like they might be forward but they're coming backwards out of the hands and floating across the line. So there's a few scores come from that people have been maybe not happy as they could be about them, but the referees are calling it, and they are backwards out of the hands.
Once again, Wigan not completing the set, and Cambridge allowed to attack, going through the hands. That's one of those passes where the hands are going backwards and the wind's catching it, but after 2 touches, Cambridge back into the Wigan half. That's 3 touches on the 10 metre.
Yeah, Cambridge getting a nice slow on there. You're looking to set up. It's a big touch from Josh Ingram in the middle there.
There's 5 touches, so the last attempt for the line needs a pass. But the touch from Wigan before Melling can release the hands. Missing, sorry.
Melling's on the Wigan team.
I know. Correct myself, and you just make me look silly. Done 18 games this weekend.
You should be getting to know them by now.
That's over 200 players. I've only got one brain.
Lovely yards there from Bobby and Jordan. Long pass out to the wing, but it's just not got quite enough on it to get there. It looks like there's been an offside call for Cambridge.
They concede possession inside 10 metres from their own line. This is something that Wigan, against Hot Custard earlier, they just kept giving away penalties. Discipline was their own worst enemy. If they can tighten up in this match, then they'll be confident that they can get over the line, both literally and metaphorically. No score there though.
That was good defence from the middles, but Jordan is very experienced in these quickie plays, and they'll have to work hard.
Touch again, despite the best effort. Rob Taylor, it was nothing. Well, he was diving before he'd even caught the ball. This time they do put the width on it.
Just a little bit slow there to get to Megan Clayton on the wing, so she attempted the dive, but just waiting on that ball to get there in this condition just takes a bit of time.
Well, you've got to attempt the dive, haven't you?
She's got to attempt the dive. Oh, lovely step from Sam Misson there. But Bobby is there to make sure that he doesn't get any further.
A little bit of juice on that touch. And again, Cambridge coming forward, and lovely work from half. He's going to go for the line, needs to find a pass. Is there a support runner? Yes, and that is a fantastic score to put Cambridge into the lead.
Yeah, lovely work from Cambridge, keeping that momentum going. I think is that James Noop on the scoop there, going through, and then Bobby chasing. That looks like one of the Wigan players is just string there.
It's no surprise in these cold conditions that a couple of muscles cramp up. We say it time and time again though, you can do that great work from half, but it counts for nothing unless you have a support runner finding the position to take advantage of that good work.
And having other players.
Wigan now needing to find a way back into this, trying to do it at the halfway point of this first half. It's Wigan Warriors 1, Cambridge Hornets 2. Gabe Pennington there trying to go the long way around the outside. Cambridge, oh, wonderful hands under pressure. Wrapped up like a little touch rugby penguin there, trying to keep some temperature in the body.
I think that might have been forward there. I think, did the ref see it?
There have been a couple from the play the ball that have looked suspect over this weekend, you know.
It's hard for the refs to see. They're looking for the longer passes, and sometimes when it's a short ball, it's difficult to see if it's gone forward or backwards. But there have been quite a few called, so they're definitely looking for it. But there's a lot of stuff going on there. I think that might have been an offside call against Wigan that trumped maybe that forward pass.
11 minutes of this one gone. This is the Elite Plate final. Cambridge 2, Wigan 1. God, that was an athletic touch.
Yeah, Gabe just diving in to save there. Josh was pulling his corner, so...
Commando touch.
Got Sam missing on the sweeper there. Attempting to find Lucy Norburn on the wing, but just didn't quite have the legs.
I think had the Wigan winger looked up there, she might have been able to pick off that pass, but so concerned with the Cambridge winger, it actually came off her. But good defensive awareness nonetheless, shutting off the danger and then doing good work at half. Wigan back into the Cambridge half after 3 touches. Nice work.
George Price will be looking for scoop at some point.
Got the pass away, but just as George thought he could dart for the corner, instead the ball gets turned over and Cambridge survive.
Hoping to see another one of George's flying dives, as he did from last weekend when he was playing for Crew. So we'll see.
Well, we're going to need to get a little bit more pressure on the Cambridge line before we can see any exotic finishes.
Working hard in their shoot defence, but Cambridge have got a lot of pace in the kids that they've got. And Ben Dobson getting caught on 6 there, so Wigan will have another chance. Bit slow to get to half there from Wigan, and it's just taking out the momentum of that first drive. Just wasting a touch.
George attempts to go around the outside, the touch on the 10 metre. But you are right, they've not really been able to get that pace that they can do so well from half. A little bit better there from Jordan. Passes off the left hand, that's a good take as well, and the offload.
Oh, but it looks like they're saying that the touch was called. And that's unlucky.
Cambridge still with that narrowest of leads, 2-1. Having gone 1 down in this final.
That was good work. Girls creating a lot of space to allow the boys to come on.
On the dummy, gets 5 extra metres and allows Cambridge to attack with pace. 5 metres short, and giving the winger something to run onto. But it's difficult to time those passes.
It's just a bit of a loose ball, and I think he was a bit off balance when he was trying to make that pass there, making it just a little bit too far in front of Lucy for her to catch. It was a good opportunity for Cambridge there, though. Josh got turned in.
Wigan up to halfway, 6 minutes.
Good driving from Jade, I think, the link for Wigan, but just no one there to get. Unlucky.
Just trying a little bit too hard in the final third, perhaps, Wigan at the moment, maybe forcing the pass. Do you think that's coming from the fact that they're not driving out of their half as well as they'd like to? I
definitely think that. I think that Jordan's hoping to get a bit more momentum, have a couple of touches rather than having to go on 5th touch and hope for the best. He's would much rather have 2 touches, and just that messing about a little bit with the when they change over in their half is costing them.
Approaching the final 5 minutes of the first half. It's the Elite Plate final. Cambridge Hornets 2, Wigan Warriors 1.
Cheeky little touch there from Aaron Povell.
And a mistake this time in the handling of Cambridge.
That was a shame. I think they set up, I think maybe Sam Misson was just a little bit flat there. And a knockdown from Brad Murphy, giving Wigan another chance to set up. Hopefully they can get some yards up the field this time. It looks like Wigan have changed up the pods that they're running in this game, which is maybe why some of their moves are not working as smoothly as they usually do. These are not the usual players that would play together.
Well, that's the fourth touch. Finally they get the field possession. There's the wraparound, but the ball just goes to ground. Was there a hand on that from Misson? Yes, says the referee. The arm wave. This will be a fresh set of 6, and finally some territory for Wigan Warriors. Pennington, again, that's off a blue hand, so that'll be another set of 6.
Yep, this time Sam Misson knocking it down. I think the Wigan boys are tired. They don't seem to be wanting to move the ball around as much as they usually do.
It's a long, hard weekend, and we worked out earlier that... Oh, that's a lovely pass and the equalising score.
Yeah, lovely hole that Josh went through there, set up by Gabe Pennington. Just, yeah, a classic thing that the Cambridge guys are going to have to watch.
If you hold and hold and hold that ball, it just does drag the defenders in. Let's see.
Yeah.
He just waited and waited. They had to commit.
Yeah. And because he was a live player, he could have scored. They had to commit, which gave Josh the space.
2 apiece. This is a real battle. The plate final, 17 minutes gone. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, saying tired players. When I had Roger Neighbour in for the championship final, working out that 4 hours of touch rugby over 2 days, you know, 6 40-minute games. It's a long time to be out there, sprinting and sprinting and sprinting. Touch has been awarded there. Oh no, are we going back? Are we having that one awarded? Yes, we are. What wonderful handling from Cambridge.
Yeah, lovely work from the winger there, just catching, spotting it down. Again, James Noop setting that up.
Didn't look to be any space. It was that long arm reaching around. Great pass.
It was a little bit lazy from the Wigan winger.
And after all that hard work to get back on parity, Wigan are a score behind once again. 2 minutes of the half to go.
They've got their most experienced group of boys on now. This is a classic old school England Mixed Open pod, and now we've got 2 England Men's Open and a Mixed Open player on there, so the junior boys who are on the field for Cambridge will be maybe slightly intimidated by these players.
Well, we're over the line. Is there a pass?
Looks like the ball has gone to ground.
Well, what did we say earlier? It's all well and good doing that work from half, but if there's no support runner, if there's nobody to pass the ball to, it goes to waste. Cambridge now having to work hard to get out of their own half.
Wigan do like to send up some quite hard shooters, so Cambridge do have to work hard, get some momentum and keep it going to allow them not to have time to set.
Oh, lovely inside pass. Oh, majestic handling and inside as well. That's one. Oh, no. The referee's brought them back.
Forward pass in there. That was so unlucky. That's definitely what you would call a team score if that one had been awarded. It was very unlucky there.
Well, it was lovely eyes up rugby. Alas, the score remains the same. 30 seconds to go. Can Wigan equalise before we hear the hooter for half-time?
Oh, no. That looks like a not square call. Wigan just need to hold it out then. It's going to be a tough half-time talk for these guys.
Well, pressure coming on from Wigan, perhaps hoping to force another possession before half-time. Now, are Cambridge going to give us some barbarians here? No. They want a breather at half-time. It's all to play for here in the plate final. It is Wigan 2, Cambridge 3.
Tournaments like this are really important because it gives us many more players to develop and for them to see what the game looks like at the elite levels and something for them to aspire to. It also encourages lots more girls to play in teams together rather than in the mixed version of the game, because in that format you won't get as much time on the ball as you will do in a women's game, so it enables women to make more decisions, practice their skills and get that really full skill set that they may not acquire in a mixed game.
Oh no, it's a really good community, like lots of familiar faces, a really good way to kind of get, involved in touch. Got like beginners here, national players.
Our women's team has really taken off over the last few years. We've had a lot of passion from incoming players, and it's really exciting to see some single-sex touch because it's really been able to bring out those skills and giving us an opportunity to shine.
It's really good fun. It's really nice to have a ladies team to play with, even though we didn't know each other until about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing how many different faces you see and recognise through the different tournaments as well that are cropping up here. So it's nice to have some familiar faces.
The quality is really good as well, so it's good to have some teams from around the country that are really good quality to play against.
Really blessed us. Yes.
Just nice to just get to know people as well. The same faces you see around all tournaments and meeting new people as well. I met Beck first time today. It's all good.
It's nice to have a go in mids and leagues and have a go at making plays ourselves rather than kind of following what some of the more experienced guys do.
Because often we get to be links and wings, which is great still. But it's nice to really be in there for all the plays.
As a result of this type of tournament, we'll hopefully feed into the new Women's Touch Cup format, where we will have more development teams on the Saturday and then the more elite teams will play both Saturday and Sunday. So it's a really good competition to get people into the game and get them involved, and then we can show them the pathways into the National League as well as the regional teams that they can play for, and just help to grow the game by getting them into making this first step into a tournament like this. Let's go!
Here we go, teams back onto the field of play for the second half of this Elite Plate final. Cambridge Hornets are going to get us underway. They also lead this one 3-2. Leah Cuthbertson alongside me. What do you think it's going to take for either of these teams to get over the line and take home this Elite Plate?
It's going to be really interesting to see what's happened after half-time with Wigan. Like, Wigan are not going to be happy to be one down at this point. They've got a lot of experienced players in that squad, and they'll be really pumped to try and win it. They just need to keep their composure. The Cambridge guys have got a lot of momentum. They look like they're working together really well. They've brought in a few more experienced players than they had from last weekend. So it'll be, I'd like to see Cambridge do really well in this, but I think it's anyone's game. There's only one score in it. See what happens.
Well, Wigan Warriors disappeared out of their Elite Cup quarter-final. Hot Custard just overcame them in the end. It was 12-6.
Yeah, it was a great game to play in, actually, and I always enjoy playing with these guys. They've been my teammates for years, and it's always a good battle. So experienced and such good touch players. So, but we just managed to pip them just at the end.
Well, it'll be interesting to get your take on this, because we couldn't decide. Well, Wigan gave away too many penalties, but we couldn't decide whether that was their ill discipline or the pressure that Hot Custard applied.
I think with Wigan, they tend to get frustrated when they're under pressure, and it becomes a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So there is a bit of, we really want to do well, so we're trying so hard, and sometimes that results in a little bit of ill discipline and a few penalties, just forcing things and getting errors.
They're attacking the line there. An unsuccessful attack, but Cambridge having to run it from pretty much on their own line. That's 2 touches of their first attack of this second half. 2 becomes 3, not quite up to halfway. Not a better drive though.
So they'll be looking to set something up to strike, and see James Noop back on, so I think he'll be going for the scoop. There he goes.
Oh, lovely inside pass, and from nothing we get something, and Cambridge take a 2-score lead. No, it's been ruled out. Let's take another look at this to see where the infringement came.
I think there was a forward pass, but which is why they've called it, but they were calling in the ruck, so they've given Cambridge back the ball.
Well, a let off there for Wigan, but they still have some defending to do here. 2 minutes of the second half gone. We're still waiting for the first score.
Good defence there from George Price.
Good awareness, he came rushing out. One of the players refusing to give in to long sleeves, which is a brave decision out here.
Yeah, I can tell you it's not a good day to forget your Under Armour, that's for sure.
Other base layer brands are available. 2.5 minutes gone. Wigan back in possession. And they've got plenty of players who can make magic happen, Wigan. I think the longer they can stay in this match, the more likely it is that they're going to be able to grind down this youthful yet talented Cambridge team, and there's some of that footwork that can unlock the door for Wigan.
That's Sam Grant trying to...
Oh, lovely pass and a good touch.
Yeah.
Good cover defence from Cambridge.
Great coverage there from James Noop. He really had to stretch out to get that one. I thought Aaron was in for the score.
Every sinew keeping Cambridge ahead in this Elite Plate final, the penultimate match of a very busy weekend of Elite Touch Rugby here in the Believe Sports National Touch Series. Of course, this is the second. Nottingham. Oh, lovely pick-up and the scoop as well, but it's been picked off.
This is Sam Grant back on the field. Be trying to use his pace to try and outrun some of the young guys from Cambridge.
We keep talking about the youth in the Cambridge side. There's a lot of talent though, isn't there?
Yeah.
Promising youngsters.
Yeah, very promising youngsters. A lot of them members of the under-18 squad. You can see on the field currently we've got Sam Messon, who is playing boys 18s but also selected into the mixed open, and Ben Dobson, who's selected into the mixed 18s squad. So, and there's quite a few others on the sideline. Ollie Maynard will be playing boys 18, just sweeping on.
And the 3-2
and then Glenn, who's not playing 18s.
With every youthful side you need the experience too.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, rear handling error in the final third there for Cambridge.
I think that was a bit of a forced pass there from Ollie Maynard, and Brad Murphy was not expecting it. probably not actually an option that was on, so it probably would have been better to hold on to it and go back the other way if anything.
5 minutes gone. The second half of this plate final still scoreless. Oh, that could all come to an end though. It's been picked off. It's been red, and Cambridge take full advantage.
That was a lovely take by Ollie Maynard there. He's really a really quality youth player in our setup, and he just read that so nicely. And there was no one there who could catch him. George Price making an attempt, but he was too far away.
We've not had many interception scores this weekend.
No, it's not. It's not something you want to throw. And I think his teammates there will be not too happy with that.
Well, here is George Price attacking the line, just putting the brakes on, and the touch does come. Quickly played back to Rob Taylor. Price in possession. Those sassy red undershorts. His characterising feature, dives for the line. Instead taken back for 6, and that'll be turnover possession. Had to go for it, and that was a good attempt as well.
Yeah, definitely. George just got a dangerous dive, but unfortunately the Cambridge defence saw it coming, so we'll be starting again to bend out for Wigan, and Cambridge. It's a good touch from Megan Clayton there.
Nice pass from Cambridge.
Stopping the momentum.
Price with the touch. Almost uses the momentum of the push to get himself back into an onside position. Cambridge surging forward again and just asking a little bit too much.
That was unlucky. I think that Sam Misson was looking for the player to be punching a hole, but he just wasn't quite there on time.
Just the one score in the second period. One thing we've not had all weekend is a really good comeback, so an opportunity for Wigan perhaps to be the team that launches that. But Cambridge worthy of their lead at the moment, 2-4. Oh, this better from Wigan though, perhaps a little bit of space on the left hand side now. The dummy, the ball's touched down, and the score's been awarded. Magical footwork there from Jordan Melling.
Yeah, you don't want to be giving him any space. He's definitely good at dancing around players. Looked like he was going for the outside, so Sam Misson was just trying to hold the space outside him, and he just snuck in between the two players.
Glenn Jones snapped his head back as well. He was furious that he'd allowed him through, but game on once more. Wigan 3, Cambridge 4.
This will all be about how much Wigan can hold their heads and how much Cambridge can keep their momentum, so be very interesting all to play for.
Oh, so close to being snaffled by Wigan. Sam Grant.
He thought he could do it.
Oh, he'd read the headlines.
Yeah.
Yeah, when those stick, they take some stopping, particularly players with the pace of Sam Grant. We've got someone down.
That looks like Cam Burkett is. He looked like he was holding his knee there, so I hope there's nothing serious going on.
We've already had one serious injury this weekend.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to see another one. And I'm pretty sure that was Cam Burkett that went down, one of our England boys 18s players, so definitely don't want to see anything happening to him.
We're approaching the final 10 minutes of this one. We've been lucky with the finals so far. They've been pretty tight.
He's back on his feet, so
that's great news. Hot Custard sloppy seconds, winning by 1 over Chester Cheetahs, and Cambridge leading by 1 here over Wigan Warriors. Cambridge bringing multiple teams to this competition, of course. We've seen the Bees
Hornets are on.
Hornets are on. We've seen the bees a little bit earlier. All kinds of stingy things.
Yeah.
When they start bringing wasps, at the home of wasps, of course, that's when we've really got problems.
Yeah.
Saw my first one of the year actually when it was 20 odd degrees. However, it's freezing now.
Yeah.
That's the one good thing about the cold weather. No wasps.
Yeah, there's not much else that's good about it.
Certainly not conducive.
Oh, a knockdown there, giving Wigan another chance at the line.
The frustration on the Cambridge bench as well. They know that error-free touch is probably the gateway to victory here in this plate final.
Yeah, they just won't be wanting to see these particular players on the field with 6 touches.
Well, there's a reach for the line. Referee quick to tap on his wrist to say that there is a touch, however, so we'll go back, but still plenty of phases and great field position for Wigan Touch Warriors.
Yeah.
Melling.
It's Taylor. And he's caught a little bit without a half there, but he's definitely setting up for something. Trying to stop Cambridge dropping out of it.
Oh, flat ball. There's space, but the pass goes to ground. That was the chance.
Yeah, they were looking for that screen, and just unfortunate that Bobby couldn't get that ball away.
Well, they did so much of that right.
But it's all about that last pass, and you've got to get that into the hands. Great yards from Cambridge there.
It's almost like that took the wind out of Wigan's sails, and
yeah, they really want to be converting these, and Cambridge have just got their heads up.
Oh, look at this response. One more pass will do it, but they don't need it. There's the touchdown. The referee, no hesitation. And just as I thought we were going to be all square, Cambridge reinstate that 2-score lead, and this was wonderful stuff.
Yeah, lovely score. You can see Jordan chasing. He's got turned around, and Glenn Jones just walking in.
Well, 8 minutes remaining, and it is a battle for Wigan now. They can't afford to make any more mistakes, really, can they?
No, definitely not. They need to start converting some of these scores. And knockdown from the winger. I thought Sam Grant was going to go right down the outside like he did to me.
That's amazing.
Still not forgiving him for that.
All the things that have got... Oh, there's the dive for the line. A double check and a score. What Wigan needed. It's a 1-point ball game once more. This one not over.
There he goes.
Take a look at this.
Quickie and like a lizard.
that keeps coming up, like a lizard. I'm going to need an explanation on that, but maybe it's not for the commentary microphone. 7 minutes of this one to go. Wigan still trailing, but not dead and buried by any stretch of the imagination. Cambridge Hornets, they do look dangerous though, don't they?
Yeah, they seem to always be getting up the field, just testing the outsides every time, making Wigan really work in defence.
Oh, has he got through there? George Price just managed to get the touch. The referee asking whether the touch was made. Price.
Yeah, it looks like the touch is going to be given.
Let's take another look. Price having a really graft there. Looked like he made the touch the first time, but
I'm not quite sure what the rest have given there.
well, Cambridge won't mind. They're on the ball. Good pass and good awareness in defence too.
Yeah, good save there from Bobby Taylor. Quick hands from Cambridge. They're really creating a lot of difficulties for the Wigan defence. Look how tight those two Lincoln mid players are, and they've got Bobby drop back into the saver position.
Pass just behind the receiver there for Cambridge. Dulls the impetus of the attack, but they're still in a good position. Well, the touch not made. Looked like it could open up on the right hand side for a second. But Cambridge with the clock on their side, not really in any kind of rush here. There's the space in the middle. What a take. Has he lost that?
looks like George is calling that he's made that touch, but it was great hands there from Ollie Maynard. And
I think he was lucky there because he might have dropped that before he'd grounded it. Conditions getting tougher and tougher out there for these players as we approach the final 5 minutes. Credit to George Price, he is working his socks off in defence, and he has to as well. Makes the touch there, but it was on the 6th, so it would have been turnover ball anyway.
Yeah, Cambridge just using up the touch on that side, just having a little go, but not too worried, just trying to make Wigan have to work real hard to get to their box.
Well, more and more droplets of rain on the camera lens can only mean one thing, and that's that the conditions are closing in. Still one match to come after this, the Elite Cup final, Scorpions against Bareback Riders. That's a lovely pick up there from Melling. He's really great skill set that he has, and catches that in one hand as well, as Wigan try as hard as they can to get something going, moving it through the hands, out to the side, the dive for the line.
Oh, and the touch is called.
That's decision. It's that pause, it's all eyes on the referee to see which direction the hands are pointing in. So difficult for us to call, and Cambridge still in the lead, 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's certainly difficult. You can't really see the lines very easily from here, so.
Oh, excellent pace on this drive from Cambridge. That's one area of the play where they really have been superior to Wigan, is being able to clear their lines at pace.
This has been a massive improvement for Cambridge from the last tournament. They've really managed to keep this momentum going, and they've got a bit, I think, maybe just having played one tournament together, and they've got a couple of extra players in there. They're just able to keep the momentum and just run into whatever the defence gives them, rather than trying desperately to set things up.
This the last play of this phase for Wigan, through the line, over the line, and the score's awarded. We're all square. It's Wigan 5, Cambridge 5.
Oh, this is quite exciting. We're hoping that Wigan will be able to keep this going and come back for a bit of a drop off in the end. That'd be good for the viewers, maybe not for them.
Maybe not for the players. But what was amazing about that is the way they drove forward. It was quite innocuous, but when you've got players in the middle of the park for a team like Wigan, they can just create something out of nothing, and from what looked like a lackadaisical drive, all of a sudden we're all square.
They're just it's almost getting the defence to do what they want. They don't want the defence rushing up at them, so they're keeping things nice and slow. Oh,
that was an excellent touch.
Lovely dive there from Sam Misson, but Cam Burkett just in there to stop that. Really good defence from him. Ben Powell will be
over the top. Oh, and Cambridge back into the lead.
What a score, what a score.
And what a reaction from Wigan, producing a magical play to square us off. Let's take a look at this pass again from half. Skipping out two Wigan defenders.
And you just see how defeated Megan Clayton is on the wing there. She'd come in to save on that link, and she just couldn't turn and get out there in time.
Wigan with it all to do once more. George Price approaching the final 90 seconds. Wigan need a touchdown, otherwise they leave empty-handed.
That was a good touch there from Cambridge. It just forced a little stumble from Gabe Pennington. He wasn't able to get over. He's going to go for the quickie now and force that pass. That was another missed opportunity there from Wigan, so Cambridge giving Cambridge just yet another opportunity. Drive back up, and you know how dangerous they can be with that when they get momentum on that drive.
Well, they're leading. There's 1 minute left. But of course, you still need to drive with real purpose. You still need to clear your lines, because if you do cough up possession in the wrong part of the pitch, then you are in deep trouble. That's 3 touches. They bring on some fresh legs. 4 touches.
They'll be looking to strike now, and James Noof again. He's very dangerous when he's got the ball. And he's going to call Gabe Pennington off there. He was trying not to make that touch, and trying to desperately get back on side. But the referee has given Cambridge another 6.
Well, that could be the ball game. 20 seconds remaining. Pennington did his best to get out of the way, but that was their last opportunity to get their hands on the ball, surely. Cambridge have done incredibly well to limit the opportunities of a very talented Wigan Warriors side. And there goes the hooter. It's full-time. Cambridge Hornets are the plate champions. They've defeated Wigan Warriors 6-5. And Leah, well worth that victory. A great performance.
Yeah, a great performance from Cambridge. That team has played outstandingly in this game, and I think it's just a bit of franticness from the Wigan Warriors, and Cambridge capitalising on every opportunity that they had. So really good to see.
Well, Wigan open the scoring. We're going to have a look at some of the try-lights. Sam missing there with a lovely finish.
You see the disappointment on the Wigan player's face as he knew that he'd been stepped round.
What about this work from
scoop
half?
there from James Noop, and the support. I think that was Sam missing again.
I think it was Dobson actually who got that score. Alas, just one of many talented youngsters in this Hornets side.
I think there's only good things to come for the future of Cambridge. You know, having those players in national squads and playing together, you know, it's all going to be positive. Oh, what a pass there!
Well, this was the one where the ball went forward, and we thought we'd seen the team try of the day, but of course the camera angle deceiving us. And this was the point where Cambridge just started to exert themselves on the game. It was nip and tuck. We see George Price falling over there, but great awareness of Cambridge to realise that Wigan were a defender short.
Yeah, they're really up, and look at that take from Ollie Maynard. He just read it so nicely, and there was no one around to catch him. I think the Wigan boys are real tired by this point.
Well, they did a lot of defending against your hot custard team, and no matter how much recovery time you have, if you play a couple of heavy matches like that in the same day, you're just going to fatigue. It's human nature.
Yeah, I think we can testify to this, that if you'd seen us play Galaxy a little while ago, I think you would have noticed a bit of fatigue going on there. After playing Wigan and then Bareback Riders, you know that those heavy games really tire out the legs.
Well, this was the period of time where we thought that Wigan were going to forge the comeback. Pennington there diving for the line.
There's a lovely dive there from Gabe.
And then Melling with a little moment of magic from half. Look at that footwork there, and the pass as well.
And a lovely dive in there from Sam Grant.
At that point it was 5-all, and we wondered. You toss the coin and see which way it's going to come down, but it was Cambridge that held their nerve, and a play worthy of a victory. And that took us to full time. Leah, thank you very much. It's now time to hear from Chris, who's pitchside.
I've got Vicky Franks, the Cambridge Hornets captain, shivering rather than smiling. Smiling now rather than shivering. That's a good thing to see. Happy with that win, especially given how tight it was against a very tough Wigan team.
Yeah, we've historically had really close games with Wigan, and I think at the last tournament we ended up overall over 2 games 19-all, so it's really close, but we're determined to carry on all the way to the end, and yeah, we're really pleased with that. Historically we don't go very well in the second part of day 2, so it was nice to be able to keep going.
Just a quick word about the competitiveness. We've seen a lot of tight games here today, especially on day 2. It's kind of a hallmark really of how this competition's developing and how clubs across England are developing, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. The standard in the last few years has just rocketed up, and it's been really nice to be able to grow with that, and I think it drives the clubs on one to another. So the better other clubs get, we know we have to raise our game, and yeah, the standard's really good.
When it's nip and tuck like that and there's never more than a touchdown or 2 in it, what are you saying to the rest of the team, both on the field and in the sub box?
I think it depends on the phase of the game. Obviously when you're on top, you're saying, right, let's go, let's punish this team, let's make sure we keep rolling with this. And when you're slightly on the back foot, it's calming down, making sure that we just play our patterns and trust that we can do it. Towards the end, it was a bit of game management as well, knowing we were up and knowing that the clock was counting down. You're making people aware of that, and when the last set went on with 1 minute to go, we were saying 1 minute, we make sure we complete our set, make sure we follow this through and we don't give away a silly penalty or a silly ball to Wigan.
You've had a couple of 2-day tournaments now as a club. You've had 2 teams in each one of them. What are you learning from the 2-day Believe Sports Elite National Touch Series?
I think we're learning. Last year we were a team that liked going play at a million miles an hour for a 20-minute game, whereas now with the shift to 40 minutes, it's a bit more sensible game management throughout. And so we're learning a lot about managing a bigger tournament rather than just a blast one day, and knowing that even if you go behind, you've got time to build back into it, which is a new feeling from the club side of things.
Vicky, congratulations. We'll see you later for the trophy presentation. In the meantime, go get a warm drink down you. But thank you very much for your time.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Cheers.